Hi, I'm Mindy Burgoyne, and this is your Haunted Minute, and I'm here tonight on the Pocomoke River, right near the town of Pocomoke City. This water, you can see the sun is setting on it, and it looks kind of light, but it's actually very dark. The river is black in color. In fact, the name of the river, Pocomoke River, they believe is an Algonquin word which means black water. The river is lined with bald cypress trees that leak a black tannicky substance into the water, giving it that black color. This is the deepest river for its width in the whole United States, and it's the second deepest in the world, second only to the Nile. But when you fall into this river, about 4, 5, 6 feet under, there's no ambient light. It's total blackness, and many people have drowned here. The river is associated with a lot of legends, but I'm going to tell you about one haunted story that happened right here behind where that overpass is behind me. On that side of the river, the Somerset side, there was an old meat packing plant, and an old African-American worker said he'd sit outside the plant after work sometimes and he'd look across the river and he would see a man and a boy walking arm in arm along the river's edge on the Worcester side, the side that I'm on. He said it was the strangest thing, because even when it was very cold or raining, no matter what the weather, they had the same clothes on. Now, some people thought he was drunk, but he swore he'd see those people. Well, one day he was out fishing on the Pocomoke River, and he noticed that that shoreline on the Worcester side where he had seen the two walking, it was a swamp. There was no place to walk. There was no river's edge. It was impossible to walk where those people were walking, is what he said. And that story kind of lived on for years. But in my research, I found an interesting story that happened with a man named Job Emmons, or Emmons. I think it was around the 1930s. He had a schooner named the Arabella, and it came up the river. You can see on this side of the river, that's where the famous Pocomoke River Bridge, and beyond that is the Tangier Sound. That's where the mouth of the river is. So the schooners would come up from there, and they'd come all the way up to what was behind me, which is where they had a little port. And schooners couldn't stop. There was no brakes. Well, down by the town, Captain Emmons let his 10-year-old son off to buy supplies and said, "Meet me up where the port is." So the boy bought the supplies and he went up to meet his father, and as the schooner Arabella came along, the boy was to hop on, and the father reached out his hand to grab the boy. He grabbed his hand, and when he stepped over, the boy slipped and he fell into the water between the dock and the boat, and he didn't come up. So naturally, Captain Emmons jumped in after him, but Captain Emmons didn't come up at all. They moved the boat around, tried to find him, and they never came up. They dredged the river for the next couple of days, and they did find Captain Emmons and his son, arm in arm, as they pulled him up with tongs. What's interesting is they pulled him up right near where that man and son were seen walking on this side of the Pocomoke River. Now, in that forest behind me, and that's another story for another day, that's the most haunted forest in Maryland. Lots of things happen there. And our Pocomoke Ghost Walk actually takes you into the forest at night. So if you wanted a nice, scary walk, you'll have to get on that one. That's the scariest place you'll ever be.